overcome Dan Gilbert, the big three, a dynasty, flaky JR and Kyrie, injuries going into a final. Am I nuts? It's the sea is finally opening up for him. AD's healthy. He's rested because of COVID. He got time off. Kawhi's gone. Giannis is gone. Is he finally catching a break in the postseason?
Well, so here's the deal. Your point's well taken. Listen, LeBron, under normal NBA circumstances, has 5 or 6 rings already. The last 4 NBA finals he's lost have come to teams with 4 or 5 Hall of Fame players on them. Like, it's just been, what he's been up against is somewhat unprecedented, plus the Dellavedova year, plus the year after Kyrie when he had no help aside from an injured Kevin Love. That's all well taken. I do think, of course, the Bucks not living up to their potential potentially helps them, and the Clippers doing exactly what I thought they would potentially helps them. Should be noted that in 2020, like this calendar year, they beat the Bucks before the restart, before the season paused, and they beat the Clippers both times they played them. But we knew this was going to happen, right? The revisionist history of, oh, look at the easy path LeBron had, as if folks weren't, not that I'm going to name names, Colin Cowherd, picking Portland to beat them, and as if when Houston was up 1-0, they weren't saying, you know, Harden, Westbrook, three-pointers, big team, doesn't shoot well for the Lakers. That could be tough. And so now the narrative will flip, because for most people, their basketball analysis starts and ends with how can I discredit LeBron James. So I don't know if you, and I'll leave you on this, Colin, you can do those Google Trends searches where it's like how often is something searched for. The word asterisk was a big subject of conversation right when the restart was getting going. Then when it looked like LeBron might lose, no one discussed it at all. Get ready for asterisk to come back into play here in the next few days. People are like, well, does it really count? I mean, if Miami's on the other side of the bracket, is this a real title? The thing is this, he was always going to win the title. This team was always the best team. They showed it throughout the regular season, and they've shown it throughout the postseason. I think the Nuggets are going to be an interesting matchup. The Lakers will clearly beat them. And the Heat might beat the Celtics, but I hope the Celtics win. Because LeBron, the one thing he's never done is sweep a team in the finals, and he'd do that to Boston. So you're right, ring number 4 on deck. That was happening anyway. It just got there a little differently than a lot of people expected.
Remember when I was your mentor? Remember those days? It was a respectful relationship.
Yeah, you used to have better takes.
I'm sure it'll be, whatever. If you want to deal with, watch kind of that kind of nonsense, whatever. Nick Wright will be joining us in 15 minutes, and it's going to be bad for me. The sea is now opening up for LeBron. It's now LeBron James with all sorts of finals and championship experience will be taking on Denver, just took the binky out of their mouth, Miami and Boston. By the way, the old Lakers just got 6 days rest. Oh, by the way, the Clippers, a roster built to beat LeBron, 4 wing defenders, gone. LeBron's career is actually, when you're honest about it, has been a series of obstacles he's had to overcome. Let's talk about him. He gets drafted by Cleveland. They're awful. Everything's bad. Cleveland stinks. You like to get drafted by great organizations. The Celtics or, Packers. No. Number 2, he walks right into a blizzard called the Big Three in Boston. Not great. Then he ends up facing the Warriors dynasty. That's another obstacle. Oh, by the way, star teammates getting hurt. Bosh was often hobbled. D. Wade in Miami. Kyrie and Kevin Love get hurt. He has to go to a finals with Matthew Dellavedova. And then he's had to deal with flakes. J.R. Smith forgot how to keep score of a game, and Kyrie Irving just bailed because he's Kyrie Irving and the world is flat, according to him. But now it's different. 17 years, and the sea is opening. Now it's young teams. The Clippers are out of the way. They got a break. Denver's a bunch of babies. Now Denver's going to understand what the big difference between, the second round and the Western Conference Finals. There's a lot of difference. That's the difference between the Sun Bowl and the Rose Bowl. There's a big difference. Second round, who was in it last year? Who knows? Who remembers? We remember conference finals. We remember finals. And through all those roadblocks with LeBron, the flakes, guys don't know the score, the injuries, Kyrie, Kevin Love, the big three, the bad ownership, all those roadblocks. 9 finals, 3 titles. And for the first time ever, well-rested LeBron, who, by the way, got hurt last year, didn't play a ton, COVID this year. Think about this. COVID was actually a break for LeBron's legs. Giannis, the Eastern Rim protector. LeBron can struggle with that. Out. Kawhi and the Clippers built to stop LeBron. Out. Anthony Davis, who has a history of being injured, is finally healthy. D. Wade and Bosh, who never got hurt before LeBron, were all banged up. Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, they got hurt. Now it's like Anthony Davis is Mr. Brittle. He's not hurt. The sea is opening up for LeBron. Opponents, health, none of it in his way. This is going to be painful. You know, I had the Clippers, but it's good if LeBron wins for me, right? Like, I'm on that side. So that's where we are this morning. Nick Wright. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Hi. Let me fix my hair. How's it going?
Hey, I'm not doing great. Most days I wake up and there's rainbows and birds. Today, it's a big stink ball. But you know what? So let's just start with this.
Colin.
What?
Can I, before we even start, can I make you feel better?
Okay.
Let me make you feel better. Everyone thinks I'm going to come on here and I'm going to hammer you.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. You were obviously wrong about the Lakers-Nuggets series.
Yeah.
But so was every single prognosticator in America. You were also wrong about the Clippers-Nuggets series, I should say, about the Clippers winning the title. But so was about 40 to 50% of the prognosticators in America. You're just in a bad spot because the only person who had the Clippers dead right all year, you got to talk to every week. Every week I tried to tell you. I warned you. There were all the warning signs. Doc's history. Kawhi being wildly overrated by folks that want to say he could be top 5 all time. Way off P, acting like he's been a great playoff performer in anything other than a Gatorade commercial. All of it. I tried to warn you, my friend, but now go ahead. You can have your show back. So
well, let's do this.
Baker?
Let's start with this. I started my show saying we all make choices in life. He could have stayed in Toronto with the best GM coach combo in the league. He could have gone to LeBron and AD. Is it as simple as he chose Paul George in a losing franchise? He made a bad decision. Is it that simple?
Well, that didn't help, but I would say the choice that Kawhi really should have made would have been to play better. That's the first choice I would make. Hey, Kawhi, don't be awful in the second half of these games. You disrespect the regular season in total all year long, so you are ramping up for the postseason. And in the first round, while your offensive numbers were great, a 21-year-old Slovenian kid was giving you buckets all day long. And then in round 2, and I don't know if we can show it. I don't know if I can use some of my graphics on your show. It's kind of rude. But Kawhi Leonard's first half versus second half is abysmal in this series.
Yeah.
That's 30% shooting. And oh, wait, there's more. How about just the fourth quarters? For the clutch closer who can win another Finals MVP. Show me his fourth quarters if we could. Oh, that's horrifying. 3 of the 7 games in this series, Kawhi with 0 fourth quarter points. Last night, 0 fourth quarter points, 1 second half field goal. So yeah, should he, option 1, go to LA with LeBron, win titles, sure. Option 2, stay in Toronto, a team that got just as far as the Clippers this year in the postseason and didn't suffer the embarrassment of being blown out in their Game 7 round 2 loss. That would have been a good one. Option 3, go to the Clippers and not make them trade everything for Paul George so you can actually get a rim protector. Option 4 is the one he did, but option 4 was never going to end in a title. I told you that. but it could have ended at least in the team's first conference finals appearance if he wasn't awful in the second half of these games. And I just missed it. You and the real upper tier of broadcasters in America must be on a text chain that I'm not included in yet. Maybe I never will be, because evidently there was an embargo on Kawhi Leonard criticism. Mark Jackson, Jeff Van Gundy, Mike Green last night, love them all. Hey, were they aware Kawhi was 1 of 11? Should have let the audience know. I don't know. The fact that he melted down in the fourth quarters of these games seems relevant for a guy I was told is the closest thing we've seen to Jordan since Kobe. But listen, what do I know? I'm just the guy that called this all year. So who knows? Who knows?